What if the dollar simply didn't exist? Imagine waking up in a world where the most powerful currency, the backbone of the global financial system, suddenly vanished. The U.S. economy, its allies, and the entire structure of world trade would never be the same again. Today, we're diving deep into why the U.S. dollar is so important and what would happen if it lost its role as the dominant global currency. The U.S. dollar isn't just paper money. It's the world's reserve currency. That means countries all over the globe hold dollars in their central banks as a safe asset. Around 60% of global foreign reserves are held in U.S. dollars. Why? Because the dollar is stable, trusted, and backed by the world's largest economy. From oil to gold, to international loans and global trade agreements, the majority are priced and paid for in dollars. For the U.S., this dominance gives huge advantages. Washington can borrow money more cheaply than any other nation. American consumers enjoy cheaper imports, and the U.S. government can run bigger deficits without the same risks smaller countries face. But the dollar's importance doesn't stop with America. U.S. allies, from Europe to Japan, depend on it for stability. The IMF and World Bank both operate mainly in dollars. Oil-rich countries in the Middle East sell crude in dollars, and developing nations borrow in dollars to fund infrastructure. For allies, this system brings predictability. They can trade with confidence, knowing that the dollar will hold value better than their local currencies. In short, the dollar acts as the glue holding the global economy together. Now, imagine the dollar vanished overnight. Without it, global trade would face chaos. Countries would scramble to find a new currency for oil, raw materials, and financial contracts. Alternatives like the euro or Chinese yuan might rise, but no currency today has the same global reach or trust as the dollar. For the United States, the consequences would be catastrophic. Imports would become more expensive, inflation would skyrocket, and the government could no longer borrow as easily. Everyday Americans would face higher prices for fuel, food, and technology. For U.S. allies, the loss would mean instability. Nations with debts in dollars could collapse financially. Global markets would enter free fall, and rival powers could step in to rewrite the rules of international finance. In the end, the dollar isn't just American money. It's the foundation of the modern global economy. If it disappeared, the shockwaves would spread far beyond Washington. Americans and their allies would face economic disaster, and the world would enter uncharted territory. That's why, for now, the U.S. dollar remains the world's most powerful and indispensable currency. So, what do you think? Could another currency realistically replace the dollar? Or will it remain the king of global finance for decades to come? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What's Up Earth.